Hi, boys and girls. I'm Miss Nelson. I will be your art teacher this year. I wanted to do a little introduction, say hello, go over some supplies, and some expectations, what my Google Classrooms will look like throughout the who knows how long. Let's start by saying some of the materials I know on the list that you received. It was Crayola markers, Crayola crayons, and Crayola watercolors. We do a lot of painting, so it'd be nice if you got some watercolors. However, if you can't, that's totally fine. When you get the Crayola crayons, if you could try and get the non-washable ones. We do Crayon Resist, where we watercolor over the crayon, and if it's washable, the wax will not resist the water. And then we always will start our project off in pencil, and we'll go over them in Sharpies. That way when we watercolor over the Sharpie, it won't bleed. However, for my littles, kinder first, second, maybe third, you certainly don't need to use Sharpie if mom and dad are not cool with it. You can just go over in regular marker. It's fine. You'll want some variation of paintbrushes. Maybe not just the ones that are provided in the set. However, if you only have that, that's totally fine. Scissors, we'll use some glue, some salt, creates a nice texture when we sprinkle it on wet paint. If you don't want to use salt, that's fine too. Colored pencils, and then like I said, if you guys, well, I didn't say this yet, but if you're on a budget, the Crazy Art brand, it's significantly cheaper and they'll work just fine. After we explore ideas in our sketchbook, you'll have the option to create your final on some nice quality watercolor paper if you have it. If not, you can just transform your rough draft in your sketchbook to your final, if that makes sense. So you don't have to recreate it on a separate piece of paper, which we do in the classroom, but if it's easier at home just to do it in your sketchbook, totally cool. With our iMovie lessons, I thought that painter's tape looked really nice with a nice crisp edge. And then when you peel off the painter's tape, it makes it white and it just looks sharp and professional. If you don't have painter's tape, that's totally fine. Just want to throw it out there. Ruler. And then, of course, your sketchbook. So with distance learning, I'm going to truly try to emphasize a lot of exploration in sketchbook. Not just with art, but, personal expression in all realms. So please get a sketchbook. That's the one thing I would like you to get if you can. And then, like I said, I am going to modify all the projects. So if I'm using in my iMovies watercolors and salts and Sharpie and you don't have any of that or you don't want to use it, you can always use what you do have. And I'll write that in each lesson, markers, crayons, or just pencil if it's easiest. So how I'll go about with logistics as far as the actual activities and lessons will go, the first week I will introduce a topic. I'll go over what it's about. I'll show a PowerPoint, maybe some YouTube videos. I'll attach some examples. And then I will usually, not with all the projects, do an iMovie of the process that I applied. And to save on time, I made them go pretty fast in the iMovie, but feel free to pause it at any time, and I'll also type those in the directions as a reminder. So the first week with all of those materials, and then I'll end it with sketchbook exploration. So typically when I introduce something that Friday, you'll have your sketchbook exploration, exploring your ideas due, and going over materials, watching the iMovies, the PowerPoints. That'll be the first week. And then the second week, I'll have the final project due. So that's where you can either finalize your rough draft and take a picture of that to turn it in, or transfer your rough draft idea onto a final work of art and take a picture of that to turn it in. Now that first week of sketchbook exploration, no photograph needed. All you have to do is click submit after you've done it. Yeah, that's about it as far as the logistics are going to go for the art projects that go ahead. And then one thing I do want to say, I'll try my hardest to give you a heads up of the materials that we'll use for the following week if we're doing something spunky like working with popsicle sticks or something out of the norm. But as far as our regular materials go, pencils, markers, crayons, watercolors, we'll do just fine. All right, cool. That's about it. Please email me with any questions, and I look forward to an awesome year. And don't worry, if we're virtual for longer than we think, we'll still have an art show. Okay? All right, boys and girls. Super excited. I hope you are too. Bye.